New York in the late 1980s was a completely schizophrenic, divided city.
New York's now the capital of racial violence.
If I had more bullets, I would have shot them all again and again.
Criminality, gang wars, drug wars. We were supposed to be afraid. It would have been irrational not to be afraid.
Off with the camera, man!
In April 1989, the city of New York was gripped by fear. A white female jogger, Trisha Meili, was found brutally beaten and raped in Central Park. The pressure to find the attackers was intense. Within days, 5 Black and Latino teenagers, Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salam, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise were arrested. There was no physical evidence linking them to the crime, but under intense police interrogations, often lasting hours, with no lawyers or parents present, the boys confessed. Those confessions would become the backbone of their prosecution.
Last night, a woman jogger was found unconscious and partially clothed in Central Park. She was beaten and sexually assaulted.
Yes, officer.
Detective. I'm Detective Hardigan. Let's start with you telling us who you were in the park with.
I don't know names. I just got lost.
Sit up. This isn't a game.
Is my mom here?
Some argue that race wasn't the motivation for the arrest. New York in the late 80s was dealing with high crime rates, and the public demanded swift justice. Supporters of the original investigation claimed the police believed they had the right suspects based on confessions alone. Former prosecutor Linda Fairstein defended the convictions, stating they admitted to being there. They described the scene. But that ignores the fact that these confessions were wildly inconsistent, and that DNA from the scene didn't match any of the boys. Years later, another man, Matias Reyes, confessed to the crime, and his DNA matched. The 5 were finally exonerated in 2002.
Today we are exonerated because the actual perpetrator confessed and DNA proved it.
This case wasn't just a tragedy, it was a result of racial profiling and deep injustice. These boys weren't seen as kids, they were labeled as animals by the press. The police didn't look for evidence, they looked for someone to blame. The fact that all 5 were Black or Latino isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of how race shapes every part of this case. And it still happens today. Young men of color are more likely to be wrongfully accused, more likely to be convicted without solid evidence, and more likely to be forgotten.
I was robbed of a normal life.
It is a tragedy that Mr. Burton spent some 20 years in jail for a crime that he did not commit. I offer my apologies on behalf of a system that failed him.
If you want justice to mean something, change has to happen. First, police must be trained to protect, not pressure, especially with minors. The Innocence Project found nearly 30% of DNA exonerations involved false confessions. No minor should be interrogated without a lawyer or a parent. Second, we need media to stop spreading fear and bias. Words like Wolfpack didn't just sell papers, they helped ruin lives. And finally, judges and juries must focus on hard evidence, not just confessions. The Central Park 5 case is not just a story about the past, it's a mirror. A reminder that racism can still hide in our courts, our police departments, and our headlines. These 5 men lost years of their lives. The least we can do is learn from it and never let it happen again.
Kevin Richardson, 44 years old.
Corey Wise, Raymond Santana.
Yusef Salam, 45 years old.
Antron McCray.
5 men, connected in a way few of us could ever imagine.
Even after their exonerations in 2002, these men carry a lifetime of pain, mistrust, and trauma. The justice system cleared their names, but it couldn't give back the years stolen. And even now, there are others still waiting, silenced, overlooked, wrongfully imprisoned. We can't change the past, but we can demand better. We can speak out when we see injustice. We can teach others to recognize bias, because justice shouldn't depend on race, income, or where you live. It should be blind, fair, and based on truth.
You know, folks always ask me, would you ever go back and change anything if you could? Changing one thing in the past would disrupt the future. And when I look back, I realize that there's a path. I can see the path. While I was going through it, I probably had to take out a machete or a weed whacker and chop all the way through this heavy, condensed life that I was experiencing. But God is good. God is real good.
The Central Park 5 are free, but not forgotten. This story is a warning, a lesson, and a call to action. We owe it to them, and to everyone still waiting for justice to keep fighting.